Sziasztok mindenki. I come to you live from the Pannonhalma Arpad-era, the Pannonhalma Abbey, an abbey that served the Benedictine monks here for over 1,000 years, and I believe it is still active today. Now, this abbey was first established in the year 996 by a man named Gevertz, as he was known, the last pagan leader of Hungary, but he was already vacillating, beginning to adapt some of the tenets of Christianity, and it was of course his son, István, who would later become known as Saint István, that took Hungary into its Christian form in the year 1000. What a spot of weather we have here on this Punkustétfő. Now, if you look and observe behind me, we can witness the expansive rolling plains that sprawl out from beneath this hill, from beneath this arch abbey, this fő apátság, not just a normal apátság, but a fő apátság, an arch abbey. Now, look out in the distance, and you can just about make out over the hills the path to Győr. We are, of course, in Győr, Moson, Sopron. And Győr is the closest major settlement. Now, on a clear day, they say you can see all the way out to Bratislava, Pozsony, Vienna, Bécs, but it's not so clear, and I don't know if I believe that myself. Apparently, Saint István, King István, István Király, used to bring his son Imre up here after a long day's ride, and they would admire these fertile domains, the Kisalföld, as it's known. Oh yes. Well, let's go see what this abbey has in store for us. We can see the exquisite craftsmanship on the front door of this abbey. My. Oh, sok baranyok. Oh my goodness gracious, yes. This is what I'm talking about. Fragment of a tomb. Oh. 3rd century? 4th century? Graves. Wow, look at this Roman history. Brilliant. Oh, the Roman tombs and stones, how plentiful they are. And this area of Pannonhalma, like the rest of Hungary west of the Danube, was firmly planted within the Pannonia province, which is why we see so many fragments of the past. Now, these stones right here, these are more from the 13th, 12th, 14th, 15th century, when this place, it was not known as Pannonhalma. It was known as Győr, as in Győr, Saint Marton, as in Saint Marton, Saint Martin of Tours, the Bishop of Tours, Saint Martin, the man who is revered to this day. He was born in Pannonia province, and they celebrated his life here at this Benedictine monastery. Benedictine abbey, abbeys, monasteries, who can keep track? Saint Martin of Tours, he cut his jacket for a beggar, and thus his fame did rise. And as the bells of the abbey ring, we head into the bibliothèque. They say this is one of the oldest and largest collections of Benedictine literature in the entire world. Ooh. Elnézést. Pannonhalmi főmonostor. We are now inside the library. Admire all of these ancient texts. 1,000 years of history, millenniums worth. Look at these old scrolls. Seneca. Yes, he would have been studied. Another Roman. Okay, wow. A fairly brilliant collection. Here's the main man, Saint István. How you doing, Stevie? How you doing? They call him a holy man, and I suppose he was fairly holy, but he did have his fair share of less than saintly deeds, such as slicing his uncle Kopan up into 4 pieces, pouring molten lead down another family member's ears, Szegény Basil. But you know, back then, to consolidate power, you had to do some dirty deeds, didn't you? So this is a brand new exhibit that just opened about UROS the Builder, 13th century monk And he basically built, well, the entirety of this church. Now the Apachag, the abbey, already existed, but this particular church, 800 years old, the St. Marton Temple. And we'll continue St. Martin's story in just a moment. But first, let's take a little peek through this brand new exhibit we just opened up. And my new friend over there, Benza, he tells me that it's quite a treat. Look at this old stonework. Wow, 12th century. 12th century. It's amazing to think what ancient man could build. Truly. Where has all the knowledge gone? Oh, look at this. Oh. All right, well, we're doing a little loop-the-loop here because apparently we missed half of everything. Just came out through that final museum. I was like, that's all? It's just a library and a museum? But no, we missed the other entrance. So we're gonna head back in and see the inside of the church itself. All right, so if you're coming here, that way's the library. You wanna head in this way. Almost missed all the big ticket items. What is one to do? These guys know. These Bachi, these Nanny, they know what they're doing. Is that a peacock? I think that's a peacock. Yep. Sergei Imre. He died in a hunting accident. Wow, how about that for an organ? Goodness gracious me. That is monumentalish. So this right here behind me is the resting place of the heart of Otto, the final Habsburg emperor to rule the end of World War I. The final Hungarian king, his heart, it's right here. They say the body's in Vienna, but his heart is in Pannonhalma. Okay, I don't think I'm really allowed in here, but couldn't miss the chance. So this church that we're standing within, this was built 800 years ago. The whole monastery founded in the year 996, as we mentioned before, but the church at the beginning of the 13th century. And the man who built it, his name was UROS. He was a Benedictine monk and a famous builder. And it was under his leadership that this place really came into its current form. Oh, okay, that's just someone else trying to get in. And UROS, he was the man that we saw his museum down there before. And the church, of course, as we've mentioned, was named after St. Marton of Tours. St. Marton of Tours. Or as the Hungarians sometimes call him, Torzy St. Marton. He was a early 4th century Roman, a Roman. And he was born not as a Christian. Remember, this was the beginning of Christianity in the Roman Empire, but believing in the Roman gods. However, he really wanted to become a Christian. And soon he would become one. He served as a soldier in the Roman military, and he was born here, well, not right here, but nearby, in ancient Roman Savaria, as it's known today, Sombotai. There he is, St. Marton, cutting his cloak for a beggar. At that time, he was serving in the Roman army out in the Gallic provinces, and he came across that beggar. And the beggar asked for his cloak, for he was cold and he was shivering. And Marton, he took out his sword, cut the thing in two. This is an original refectory. Is that the word, refectory? I don't know. But it was built by UROS, beginning of the 13th century. Look at that. So he cut the cloak in two, right? Cut the cloak in two. And then something or another about a battle. He didn't have a sword, but he dreamed of Christ returning in the form of the beggar with the cloak. Who knows? Who knows? The point is that his army was victorious. And this was in the Gallic provinces of modern-day France, in Tours precisely. That's why he's known as Toursy Saint Martin. And then he began to convert people and become quite a religious man. But my favorite part of the legend of Saint Martin is that eventually they wanted to elect him as the pushbook, as the bishop of his area of Gaul. And he didn't want to become a bishop. Even though he was religious, he was like, it's not for me. And so what did he do? He hid inside a little collection of geese. And he said, no, I won't become the bishop. And the geese, what did they do? Well, they did what geese do. They started going, quack, quack, quack. He gave him away. Long story short, he was elected bishop. And so, every year, on Saint Martin Nap in November, we eat geese to celebrate. Not a bad tradition if you ask me. It's kind of like the Hungarian Thanksgiving. Not quite, nothing comes close to Thanksgiving, but Saint Martin Nap, hey, it's not bad. And neither was Saint Martin. Pretty good saint. On the way out of the abbey, we picked up a couple of things. We got a quadruple Pannonhalma fu apachag shurfus de felbarna belgai stilu shur. And we got a dios patko. It's a nice little traditional pastry shaped like a horseshoe. Ude dios. Kijit saras. And that is why we got the and that's why we got the quadruple T Sazalek. Let's wash it down. Amongst the Levendula, as they say in Pannonhalma. Actually, I don't know what they say in Pannonhalma, but I wish I did. Sziasztok mindenki. Saint Martin of Tours, UROS The Builder, Pannonhalma, Arpad-era, Egészség. It's the best thing about monks. They brew delicious drinks. Nagyon fincsi.